All right, buddy, I am off. I'll be gone for a couple of days. Is there anything else you need from me before I go?
Nah, boss, I think you got it all about covered. By the way, looking good.
Oh, you're not looking too bad yourself. You know, I have to look my best. I'm going to the parks panel. There could be a PeopleMover announcement. You never know when there's going to be a PeopleMover announcement. So I figured I'd look great if they do announce it.
No, I don't blame you. I'd want to look fancy too. So just to be clear, I'm like in charge of all of this, right?
Just don't touch anything. I'm going to go ahead and give you my predictions video, and then we should be good to go. Just make sure not to talk too much about Lafitte, all right? I know you do that. I know that was your thing for a while. Just tone it down a little bit for me, okay?
Yeah, no, Lafitte, just out of my brain. No Lafitte, don't worry about that. I don't even know who Lafitte is. He was like a construction worker or something? I've never heard of Lafitte in my life before. No Lafitte. You got it, boss.
All right, well, I'll send you the video. Just hit upload. Don't do anything to it. Don't talk about Lafitte at all. Just hit the upload button, and we should be good, okay? Can I trust you while I'm gone?
You know, I don't know why you don't think you can trust me. I ran this channel for years before you came along. I know what I'm doing, okay? I have some experience with this.
Sorry I'm being so rough on you. It's just, you know, excited for the PeopleMover, and if they don't announce it, I'm probably going to delete the channel, so,
No, don't delete the channel. People are just gonna be mad for a day. We're gonna get over it. It's gonna be fine. Trust me, I've predicted the PeopleMover coming back tons of times. I've never deleted the channel.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I'll see you in about a week. I got stuff to do, so bye. I got a flight I think I'm late for already.
Bye. All right, so just hit the upload button. That's all you have to do, right? Just hit the upload button. Don't talk about Lafitte. Just hit the upload Lafitte! Well, we are now officially 1 week away from D23 2022. It feels like it's been leading up to this for such a long time. It being my life, and such a long time being the past 3 years. What are we gonna do? In 2019, we had a lot of new announcements. Some of them ended up happening, most of them did not because of that whole shutdown thing. And this year, I think Disney's gonna come out of the gate swinging. Metaphorically, no bats will be at the show. I don't want to say I'm being too overly or underly optimistic with these predictions. These are my genuine, actual thoughts of what is most likely to be announced. My opening time frames are usually pretty bad. There is one that I am pretty certain about, but the other ones, you know, it could be add or subtract a year to any of these. I'm not great with construction timelines. But what do you say we start over in Anaheim, California at the Disneyland Resort? Not necessarily Disneyland yet, because I have a lot of thoughts about Disneyland. We're gonna start at California Adventure, home of Avengers Campus. Now, we got quite a lot of world building for Avengers Campus back in 2019. They promised a Spider-Man attraction and, of course, a new Avengers e-ticket attraction. That's where I'm gonna stay for most of this segment. My first prediction is that they will mention the Avengers e-ticket attraction and tell us that it's still on, but they won't provide any timeline, opening date, or details for it. It's literally going to be just a quick passing mention of the attraction, how it's still happening, and how Disney thinks, well, we're gonna love it. We're gonna absolutely love this new Avengers attraction, whatever it is, whenever it is. I don't even know if they know. We also might see Avengers Campus expand back toward the Hyperion Theater where the Ant-Man dining area sort of is right now, either with an attraction or a restaurant. I think a sit-down Avengers restaurant would be pretty cool. They do it on the Disney Wish, so it's already, you know, the framework is there. Do I think this is going to be the specific announcement? No, but I do think we will receive some sort of information as to the expansion of Avengers Campus, because I know that land is a success and they want more of it. I love Marvel also, so I would also like to see more of it. As for the rest of California Adventure, I can't really see too much being announced for it besides maybe an opening timeline of the Pixar Pier Hotel, the retheming of the Paradise Pier Hotel, and maybe an Encanto attraction back in Paradise Gardens or around, you know, the Hollywood backlot. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not 100%, so I'm not gonna super include it in this video, but we might see some sort of refresh back in that corner of the park that hasn't been touched. So there you have my two predictions for California Adventure, an update on the Pixar Pier Hotel, and a mention of the Avengers e-ticket that is still going to happen. I refuse to give up hope. Now on to the fun stuff, the things that we can expect to see over at Disneyland Park proper. Now, we've talked ad nauseum about the return of the PeopleMover, or the potential return of the PeopleMover, and how I think it's actually pretty likely at this point. I think there's something going on that Disney's not telling us, and they've teased us. Disney never teases us on anything, and they've teased us on this. Or have they? I've made a couple videos within the past month about the Disneyland PeopleMover and how it may return. I'm gonna go ahead and put a card in the corner there for you to refresh your memories with. The PM, that's what we call it when we're friends with it, the PM, has received its own videos, so you can go watch those. What I also mentioned that Disney might be teasing is a potential expansion to Fantasyland, a Frozen-themed expansion. Now, whether or not this is going to take the form of, like I said, an expansion or a mini land or a brand new full-size land, Frozen is coming to Disneyland in some shape. They've announced new Frozen experiences coming to the Wonderful World of Dreams Pavilion, which is the Disney Parks Pavilion, and Scott Trowbridge, you know that whole tweet, we've been over this before. The video's taken back near the Fantasyland Tomorrowland mix point, behind the Matterhorn near the motorboat cruise loading area. I think this is prime real estate for a Fantasyland expansion, and if they're gonna do an expansion, it's probably gonna be Frozen. It already fits in with like the theme of the land, and you're right by the Matterhorn. I mean, it makes thematic sense, folks. As for what attractions we would be able to see in the new Frozen area, I'm gonna assume there's probably gonna be two. You know, like every other land, there's going to be a smaller, more like it's simple C or D ticket attraction, and then you'll have your E ticket, which I'm assuming is just gonna be a clone at this point, either shorter or the same length of Frozen Ever After over at Epcot. Because I don't care if you don't like Frozen, I personally enjoy it. It's very popular. People want to use their Lightning Lane money on Frozen Ever After over at Epcot, and if there's one thing Bob Chapek loves, it's people paying for Lightning Lane. It's sort of a no-brainer, and since they can't really monetize Anna or Elsa over at Disneyland like they can at Disney World right now, they need to close that gap. Frozen is coming to Disneyland. Okay, it might not even be an expansion. It could very well just be a ride. It's happening though, everyone. Strap in, it's gonna be a thing, along with the PeopleMover coming back though, so it's okay. I'll forgive Chapek just this once. Here's something fun. Do you all remember Magic Happens or Paint the Night? Those little parades that were massive successes and everyone loved that just sort of disappeared forever, especially Magic Happens. Oh, that poor parade. One of those two is coming back, and it's gonna be like sort of a shadow drop announcement at D23 that Paint the Night is coming back that night or that next week, or, you know, Magic Happens also could be coming back. I don't know. The electrical parade does end September 1st, and there have been photos of the Incredibles float in this weird storage facility, so I think there is a very good chance that, as a surprise for D23 guests and, you know, Disneyland guests, very plausible. Like 90%, I think Paint the Night's coming back. This ties into Walt Disney World somewhat, but we will receive a new nighttime show for the 100 Years of Wonder celebration in some way, shape, or form. Probably a fireworks show if I were to guess, but we will be receiving that along with the Magic Kingdom. Spoiler alert, that's one of my predictions. We will receive an update on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. We'll get some behind the scenes footage of the ride scenes coming together. Maybe the announcement of that new ride scene that's been proposed. It's been sort of floating around. Of course, some details and maybe even some animatronics from Tiana's Bayou Adventure before Splash Mountain closes down and that takes its place. Maybe even the announcement of a New Orleans Square Bayou area expanding to take over Critter Country. Disney? It's a good idea. Call me up. I'm ready. I'll be here to help. And one brand new thing is we will get an announcement as to what is taking over that mysterious black box in the corner of Adventureland that used to be Tarzan's treehouse. Whether that's Encanto or Swiss Family Robinson, we will be getting a confirmation as to who is moving into the tree. And they've been working on it for such a long time, off and on, I suppose, for a while, so I think we might even see an opening date for whatever is replacing Tarzan. My guess is going to be sometime in 2023, probably summer. I also have written on my list here some sort of attention given to Tomorrowland, but I feel like if we see any sort of Tomorrowland news, it's going to be the PeopleMover and nothing else. I think a full refresh of Disneyland's Tomorrowland is a far ways out, and if they're going to give us something to sort of just tide us over until that new Tomorrowland opens up, it's going to be the PeopleMover. So I don't think we're going to see new Tomorrowland quite yet. Maybe next D23, but I do expect the PeopleMover to be this D23. So here you have a full list of my Disneyland predictions. Am I missing anything? Do you think I'm wrong with any of them? Please let me know, because this list can change, and it probably will change after the press conference to show that I was right, you know, with all of these predictions, I'll just edit the list. It's easy. Like, anyone can do it. We've already gotten announcements about that sort of refresh of Downtown Disney that's going to be happening, so I don't think we're going to hear too much about that, and I wouldn't expect to hear anything about Disneyland Forward, not for a very long time. Probably not until D23 2020. Hold on. 2024. That's right. Remember, I can do math. It's fine. It's easy. It's every other year.
Okay, now put this footage in as soon as I'm done talking about Disneyland.
All right, got it.
Wait, why are you talking to me? I'm just a recording.
Me? How did you know I was going to say that? You're just a recording, I think.
Okay, you know, it doesn't matter. All right, this is just a video. I'm just going to keep talking. I'm just going to keep recording. We're moving on to Walt Disney World, the vacation kingdom of the world, for my next slate of predictions.
Fine. All right.
Thank you.
Nice. Now, the difference between Walt Disney World and Disneyland is Walt Disney World is the moneymaker. Lots of people from all over the world go to Walt Disney World for vacation, whereas in Anaheim, it's mostly locals or regulars like myself. Now, this isn't a good thing or a bad thing. This just means that people at Disney World are more likely to spend money on things like Genie Plus or merchandise, because if you don't get to ride this attraction at Disneyland, well, you can always just come back later and ride it at a time when it's a shorter line. Whereas at Walt Disney World, you gotta ride Frozen, or else you're never gonna ride it again, because you only go once. Disney World is the moneymaker, which means Disney likes to invest more in Walt Disney World, usually. And where will those investments start? Well, I'm gonna start with Animal Kingdom. Now, I think Animal Kingdom is great. I love it so much. It's my least favorite of the Disney World parks, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Hollywood Studios has the Muppets. Magic Kingdom is a Disneyland-style park and has the Haunted Mansion. And Epcot, well, it's Epcot. Not much more I can say there. That place is great. You see, over at Animal Kingdom, we have Pandora, which is lovely, Asia and Africa, which both have amazing e-tickets, Kilimanjaro Safari and Expedition Everest, and then back even further, you have Dinoland, which is Dinoland. My first prediction for the East Coast is that Dinoland is going to receive some sort of TLC announced. Primeval Whirl is dead and buried and demolished, so something has to take over that area, and Chester and Hester's Dinorama isn't exactly the most popular area of the park. They really only have Triceratops Spin, and don't get me wrong, I love Triceratops Spin. I'm a big fan. But something can be done. Something should be done. So for my 9th prediction, a Dinoland refresh / retheme is on its way. Whether that's Wakanda or Zootopia or just a better Dinoland, something is going to be done. Something should be done. I think Dinosaur is a great ride. I just think it needs some love. The potential is all there. It just needs that little extra something. Fix up the animatronics. Make it a little brighter in there. Make it more immersive. You'll have yourself a huge draw. And that is actually about it for Animal Kingdom. I spoke in an earlier video about a potential expansion in the Africa area of the park, mainly backed by Rafiki's Planet Watch, but honestly, I don't see that coming for a very, very long time. Not for this D23. Moving over to Hollywood Studios, I think this is going to be a bit more exciting because I think Disney wants as much Marvel in the parks right now as they could possibly get. Avengers Campus was extremely popular, Cosmic Rewind was extremely popular, and they're just going to keep building that up, and I think the next place it's going to be added is in Hollywood Studios. Prediction number 10, I think a Marvel presence of some sort is going to be announced for Hollywood Studios. Whether or not that's a ride or a land or just a small little show, something's going to be announced. I'm leaning more toward it being an experience or a show though because of the whole agreement they have with Universal, only being able to use certain characters. It might be minimal, but it is coming. In a perfect world, we'd get Avengers Campus East, where Star Wars Launch Bay is currently located, but I know that's probably not going to happen. We especially wouldn't be getting Web Slingers because there's already that Spider-Man attraction over at Universal. But I think whatever form it takes, we're going to see characters not used over at Universal. Characters like Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and the Wasp, you know, the ones that are safe from Universal. Pie in the sky, we get an Avengers Campus East and a Doctor Strange Dark Ride. More realistically, though, we probably just get like a pavilion or a show. Tying into the whole Marvel idea, I think we will be seeing a re-theme for the Rock and Roller Coaster. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Aerosmith's music, and I love that little corner of the park, that classic rock area. I think it's nice. The music that they play there, the vibes, it's really, I don't know, it feels like a flashback to the 80s. But, and this is a really, really big but, everything's got to be IP, and I think Disney knows that they're sleeping on Marvel and Star Wars and whatever else they have planned. I think Rock and Roller Coaster is going to be rethemed. Now, whether that's Marvel or not, I don't know. For all we know, it's going to be Encanto, but I do think a retheme for Rock and Roller Coaster is on the horizon. But don't worry, okay? When I say a Marvel retheme of Rock and Roller Coaster, people start to get worried about the Tower of Terror. Don't worry about the Tower of Terror. That's going to be the Twilight Zone. It's going to be fine. It's going to stay in its current form. Maybe a refresh with new animatronics and show scenes, but nothing is going to happen to the Tower of Terror. I don't have any predictions for it. It's going to stay the same. Don't worry. And finally, Disney's been teasing it for so long. I'm confused as to why they haven't announced it yet. The new Fantasmic show coming to Hollywood studios. It's not going to be just Fantasmic reopening. It's going to be Fantasmic 3.0. Not Fantasmic 2.0 like we see over at Disneyland. It's not going to be any better or worse. I mean, it could be. It's going to be a completely different take on the show. Disneyland and Disney World are each going to have their own takes on this new Fantasmic. Otherwise, I don't know why it's taking them so long to get Fantasmic 1.0 up and running over at the studios. I think it's safe to say they're working on a brand new version of the show. Now, whether that's the one we see at Disneyland or just a 3.0, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna say Fantasmic 3.0 is gonna happen this year. Okay, maybe early next year, but it'll be a thing. Mark my words. New Fantasmic. But now we get into the fun stuff. My favorite park at Walt Disney World. We're gonna go to Epcot. Now, they announced a lot of things for Epcot at D23 2019, and in my previous video, I talked about a lot of them that were shelved, namely the Mary Poppins attraction and Spaceship Earth, and I think we are going to receive an update and potentially an opening date for one attraction at D23. Now, whether that's going to be a new Journey into Imagination, the refresh of Spaceship Earth, Mary Poppins, Moana, something. We're gonna get some Epcot news, and I think it's safe to say that. I'm saying that a lot, it's safe, but like, come on. Like, we have to be getting Epcot news. Those walls have to come down at some point. You know, and we got news already about what's going to be going on with Communicore and World Celebration and Discovery, you know, with all the gardens and the stages and the festival centers and whatnot. I think they're saving the attraction announcements for next week at D23. Again, please, please, pie in the sky, bring back Journey into Imagination, the original, or just a refreshed version with Dreamfinder. My best friend Tony Baxter would be so happy. And you know what? So would I, and I think you all would be as well. Please, Journey into Imagination. That's not a prediction, that's just a wish. But I do predict the announcement or unshelving of one major attraction refresh / construction project for Epcot. I also expect an opening date announced for Moana, The Journey of Water, and I also don't expect any mentions of the Play Pavilion. And if they do announce any Play Pavilion plans, it's going to be a bit different from what we saw back in 2019. Not completely different. I think they're going to still stick with the whole play aspect, but the whole emojis internet circa 2017 thing, yeah, that's going to be out. Good. But that's just me getting distracted. No Play Pavilion announcement at all. And then this is kind of like right in the middle between pie in the sky and an honest to goodness prediction, but I think we're gonna see an announcement for an attraction in the World Showcase, a brand new one that we haven't heard of before. I think an Aladdin Magic Carpet Ride would be really, really cool for the Morocco Pavilion, maybe Coco coming to Mexico. Something is going to be announced. I think Bob Chapek's goal at the end of the day is to get an IP into every single one of the pavilions. Right now, Mexico sort of has the Three Caballeros, Norway has Frozen, China has the Circle Vision show, you know, that's good, it's cool. Germany and Italy don't really have anything. The American Adventure has the American Adventure. Japan doesn't have anything. Morocco doesn't have anything. France has Ratatouille. The UK was gonna get Mary Poppins, doesn't have anything now, and Canada has the Circle Vision show. I think the pavilions ripe for an attraction would be Germany, Japan, or Morocco. Knowing Chapek wants to save a little bit of money though, we're probably going to get Coco in Mexico. That way it's just a quick retheme instead of building a completely new attraction like Ratatouille was. And I think everything they've already announced, you know, is going to happen. Communicore is going to be a thing, Dreamer's Point, Moana, all of that's going to be finished, and the land and seas are going to be left alone. Journey into Imagination, I don't know, probably going to be left alone. And you know, that's going to sort of be new Epcot until, you know, 10 years down the road when they finally get around to fixing some of the stuff that they left behind. I do have a feeling that new Epcot was going to be bigger and grander, and every corner of the park was going to get attention before COVID hit. Now I don't think that's the case. They're just going to want to mainly fix up the front half of Future World, or the former Future World, I guess, and just call it a day. World Nature is going to be sort of like a ghost town. But you know what? That's okay with me, because that means a shorter line for Living with the Land, which people are sleeping on. It's the best attraction at Epcot. I will die on that hill. I love Living with the Land. All right, that about wraps up Epcot, which I think is funny because that's what Disney's trying to do right now. They're just trying to wrap up the Epcot project as fast as they possibly can. Let's move over to the Magic Kingdom where, like I described earlier, it's going to be getting a nighttime fireworks show for the 100th anniversary, just like Disneyland is. Whether these are going to be the same show or similar shows, I don't know. It's gonna happen though. Again, similar to Disneyland, we will also be getting an update on Tiana's Bayou Adventure and the land around it. I do think they're going to do sort of like a mini New Orleans Square area around Splash Mountain at Disney World. See, I called it Splash Mountain. It's just a better name, I'm sorry. Sort of like something you'd find over at Pixar Pier if you're a Disneyland person, where every ride sort of has a very, very small mini land next to it, like Inside Out and the Incredicoaster. I say expect a stand that sells gumbo and beignets. Please, Disney, please. Like, I maybe not expect it, but I'm hoping for it, okay? And then, of course, you know, we'll get looks at the animatronics and updates as to specifics within the attraction, and it'll be fun, and everyone will enjoy it. No one's going to be angry. I'm actually really excited for this attraction and what sort of new vibes it's going to bring to New Orleans Square / Critter Country / Frontierland. Also, pretty please put Dr. Facilier in there. I need Keith David to be in a Disney attraction. Please, Disney. Please, Chapek. Please! One thing that I'm going to go out here and say is 100% absolutely, totally, without a doubt, going to happen, and that's not even a joke, is we're getting an announcement date for Tron. Like, that's a thing. My guess, personally, I'm going to say November of this year, Tron is going to open. Now, that may seem like wishful thinking, but they've already started human trials. The canopy is essentially done and all lit up. Everything is, like, the show elements are seen outside. I'm assuming they're in place inside. All they have to do is landscape the front, put in all the electronics for the Fast Pass kiosks and whatnot, finish the bathrooms, and you've got yourself a finished e-ticket roller coaster. 100% chance we do get a Tron opening date announcement. Whether or not that's going to be in September, I don't know. That's just my guess, but we are going to get it announced. I love Tron Legacy, and it's about time that movie got its own ride. It deserves it. Tron Legacy was great, people. Clue walked so Thanos could run! And of course, alongside the opening date for Tron, we will also get the Railroad reopening date as well. I don't ever recall being on the Walt Disney World Railroad. I think it's about time it reopened. Now, I don't have an exact opening date nailed down, but if I were to guess, it's going to be before Tron opens, right? It'd be before. So I'm going to say, you know, late October, mid-October for the Railroad. It works. It's testing. It's not like they have to get new trains or rebuild the entire track or anything. They just have to finish the section of track that runs along Tron. Either the Railroad's going to open before Tron to get people excited, or they're going to open simultaneously, which honestly, looking at it now, might be the correct answer. I think the Railroad will reopen in November alongside Tron. That's my prediction. Call me out on it, but I do have a power for these things. I do have a certain affinity for wishing things into existence. You're welcome, PeopleMover fans. I will accept donations in the form of Patreon supporters. Other than all of that, though, we'll probably get a couple of stupid announcements like the Target one from last time. Ones that nobody really cares about, but they just had to put in there for the shareholders. And as for the overseas parks, we'll get updates regarding the Frozen Land, the Star Wars Land, the Marvel Land over at Disneyland Paris, and then of course Zootopia over in Hong Kong. We'll probably get an attraction announcement for that. My guess is that the Zootopia attraction will be a dark ride screen hybrid like Ratatouille. We will also get an update on the Peter Pan and Tangled attractions coming to Fantasy Springs over at Disney Sea in Tokyo, which will be super cool. And I am going to go to Tokyo for the Tangled boat ride exclusively. It's a no-brainer. I don't know why it doesn't exist already stateside. I mean, hey, maybe tying into my prediction earlier, it could be the boat ride, the attraction, the IP tie-in for the Germany pavilion over at Epcot. That's a thought. But that about wraps up all of my predictions for D23 2022. Did I miss anything? Do you think these predictions are too conservative, or do you think they're way too blue sky and we're going to get maybe half of these announcements, maybe even less? I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments below. What are your predictions for D23 2022? Please, PeopleMover, please.
And then, you know, we could just sort of wrap up the video from there, yada, yada, yada. I already asked them what their predictions are.
Right.
We could talk about how, you know, they'll find me near Lafitte's Anchor at Disneyland during the convention. I won't be on the show floor. I'll be exclusively yelling Lafitte at all of the panels. I think it's going to be really fun. I think they're going to enjoy it, yada, yada, yada. See you next week at D23, and maybe even at Disneyland, because I will be at Disneyland as well. How does that sound?
I mean, it's good. I think we could tighten up the ending a little bit, and the bit is sort of old at this point.
Oh, yeah, I guess this bit has sort of run its course. So I guess I'll see you all next week at D23 or at Disneyland, whatever it be. I will see you there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're looking forward to the future installments of this D23 saga we are both going through together. All right, I'm done now. Go ahead and take it away, early offhand Disney. I'm going to head out. I got some stuff I got to do before the show starts.
All right, well, I guess he's leaving it to me. Okay, so without any further ado, everyone, the end card. Hello everybody, and thank you for watching today's video about my predictions for D23 2022. What do you think? I know I already asked you this, or I guess me from the future asked you this, but what are your predictions? And what did I miss? What am I completely wrong about? I'm sure people who are on the inside who know more than me are probably shaking their heads in shame right now. Like I said, I am willing to accept thanks in the form of donations to the Patreon page for the reopening of the PeopleMover. Even just $1 a month gets you access to most of the perks like early video previews and sometimes previews to the entire video before the public gets to see them. So head to the link in the description down below and join the club. Thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. You all help keep this channel going. Also, be sure to follow me on all of my other social medias, Instagram, Twitter, and apparently TikTok is an app in the future that I don't know about, but that's a thing. TikTok, I'm at Offhand Disney on all of those places. Apparently you can get exclusive content over at the TikTok. I don't know what that means. I think it's like a clock or one of those like dancing apps. I don't know. Also, be sure to tune into Foolish Mortals live every Friday at 11 a.m. Disneyland time with my friend Disney Dan over at Captain Dan's Submarine Canteen over at twitch.tv. We're really excited to be bringing it back to you almost every week. Okay, last week we were both incapacitated. And that's about it for this one. I look forward to seeing those of you who will be attending D23 on the show floor, and those of you who won't be attending, I will probably be seeing you in the videos that I will be making covering this whole convention hodgepodge mess adventure. Looking forward to it. I guess I'm not looking forward to it. Me from the future is looking forward to it. Bye. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.